So when we said yes to planning a church almost 11 years ago, can you believe it's been that long?
It's crazy.
We didn't realize that we were saying yes to just a church community, but we were saying yes to a movement.
Yeah. And what that looks like is just kind of beginning to unfold. And so we're excited about the next season for our movement and what God is doing.
I have not been more content than I have, I think, in 2019. In the beginning of this year than in 11 years of being a senior pastor. I just love what the Lord's doing. And so we got to go on our 20th anniversary. Mm-hmm. And then I have this dream, this prophetic dream. I'm like looking at a church from an aerial view, and I see the outside of the building. Then all of a sudden I'm inside the church. I'm in back by the sound booth. And to my right is Martin Trench. He pastors a church in Canada. Martin Trench is one of the teaching pastors at this church that's in transition. And I'm there and I have my Bible and I'm thinking in the dream I'm about to preach, but I soon find out that they're about to appoint me as the new senior pastor in this dream. And it was just like, wow, this is interesting. And I remember the colors in the dream and everything. It was really vivid to me. And then I walked over to the right of the sanctuary and met this guy with gray hair, and he was like in charge of passing the baton. And so I wake up, we're on our anniversary in Cabo San Lucas, and I said, baby, I had this really interesting dream. Martin Trench is in it. So I messaged Martin. Martin says, that's really interesting. You know, we chatted, joked around about it a little bit. Then we get a call 3 months after this, the day that Abner Suarez is here preaching at our church.
So Martin is on speakerphone, and we're in Zack's office, and he just starts talking about this church that's in transition, and they're going to be looking for some new senior leaders to kind of take the church to the next level. And so we're just sitting there, and we're like, okay. And so we hang up the phone, and me and Zack look at each other. We're like, this is not on our radar. What is happening? And our heart just begins to just stir on the inside of us. Like, okay, God, what are you doing? And so Zack messages Martin and says, you know, if God's on this, we're open. That night, Abner is preaching, and he says something, and it was just this thing in our heart, I think, that was almost solidifying the fact that we had to open our heart to possibility. And he said, Joseph hinged his entire destiny on one dream.
I'm pretty sure you elbowed me in that moment. I was
like, did you hear what he said? So we opened our heart to the possibility. And we got on the phone with the pastors of this church and just said, okay, what does this look like? Let's dream together. And so we went up to Rochester, New York. We took our whole family, spent a weekend in the freezing cold.
And we're literally considering, Lord, is this you calling us to pioneer another work in another city? It's freezing cold. It's overcast. And we are in the midst of such an amazing, fruitful time in Vegas, and we've invested 11 years of our life, blood, sweat, and tears. God, is this you? And before we went, we said yes to the Lord. It's just an undeniable call. Rachelle and I are sitting here in this other city, this freezing cold, and like, God is actually calling us to pioneer work in another state. Our kids knew it. We knew it. Yeah. It was profound. And all of these confirmations, I found out that I share a birthday with Charles Finney. I had no idea. Yeah. Charles Finney was born, and then he settled in a place called Henderson, not Henderson, Nevada, but another place called Henderson. And then this Rochester revival in the 1830s explodes. And one of the reports was, I heard Robert Sladen talk about this, one of the reporters said, Rochester has had an encounter with God. So we are completely humbled and honored to announce that we will be pioneering another work in New York. And we're going to commit the next few years of our life to this and see what the Lord has. So the movement, and we've been declaring this for many years, what happens in Vegas will not stay in Vegas. Yeah. And so this is literally happening. We never felt like this was going to be us sent out, but the Lord is sending us and commissioning us to bring fire to another city. But we have so many amazing leaders in this
Oh
church.
my goodness. If we go, somebody needs to really run here. And so we don't feel like there's anybody else. And we know the Lord has really called these people to run with us. For the last 8 years, Chris and Carley have been our right hand, our number one cheerleaders. They've been by our side through thick and thin, through all this stuff. And we're so blessed to know them, blessed to have their friendship and their love. And now we are so excited to announce them as your lead campus pastors. They're going to just run with a vision. They're going to take a hold of this thing and take it to a whole nother level. And so we just encourage you, get behind them, surround them, support them. This is a great and exciting time for our church.
My initial reaction was shock, disbelief, dismay, depression, just shock.
I think in the car on the way here for that meeting, we didn't know what the meeting was for. You had just called us in.
We had an inkling, though, for some
in the
reason.
afternoon one day, and I said to Chris in the car, this was my same reaction when he asked, well, maybe we should move to Vegas. In the car on the way here that afternoon, I said, I do not want to be a senior pastor's wife. I can't do this. This isn't what I signed up for.
We kind of realized that the Lord had kind of been prepping us over the last few months. We didn't realize it at the time, but I started thinking back about why would I walk in the house? You know, God, it would take Zack coming to me personally and asking me about pastoring for me to even consider it. And that's exactly what happened.
I have, in my life, many times to many people expressed that I hate change. I don't like it. I'm not comfortable with it. But I settled in my heart a long time ago that I trust Jesus way more than I hate change. So I'm excited for the future. I'm sad that my people are going to be in a different state. But that just creates opportunity for travel. And I love travel. So I'm excited about what God's doing. He's writing a really good story. And there's always joy in the journey. So let's go.
And through this journey, we just knew they're a son and daughter of the house. The honor, the humility, the purity, the character, the strength of your marriage, and us in our hearts being willing to say, hey, now you get to run with this beautiful community.
Yeah.
And now we will have a church on the East Coast, a sister church that is walking in the same glory. You know, and we're dreaming together. We're already talking about, we're going to do conferences together, and we're going to, yes. But God is truly taking us from a community to a movement, and the movement cannot be contained in the city. And our call is to pioneer. It's an apostolic call.
People come to Vegas looking for something and finding God. This is what I want. This is my heart for Vegas. We talk about it for years. It's not Sin City. It's Revival City. It's Sun City. It's Saint City. And so I want Las Vegas to be known as a hub of the presence of God.
Yeah.
That's what I want it to be known for. People go, man, Vegas is changing.
Yeah.
Vegas is changing. Revival's happening.
I'm excited about where we're going. I am excited about stepping into this place where I really get to steward and care for the hearts in our house. We have always been a place where people have encountered the presence of God and where heaven has invaded earth. And I'm so excited to see that continue and grow and be bigger and for more people to encounter it regularly. So
yeah. Lead campus pastors, what?
It's amazing.
He's good.
And we know the community is going to be in good hands under the senior leadership of Chris and Carley,
yes.
and the rest of our eldership and team and community leaders and pastors. And the movement is expanding.
Yes.
And the declarations that we've said, what happens in Vegas will not stay in Vegas, but will shake the nations for the glory of God. It's coming into fruition. We're seeing the beginning. The community is becoming a movement, and the movement is expanding. Exciting times.
Yes. Yep.
Do you know what this is kind of like, actually? This is like Dunder Mifflin, Utica, Dunder Mifflin, Stratton. This is just Encounter Church, Las Vegas, Encounter Church,
Yeah.
Rochester,
Exactly.
same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Michael Scott and you're Michael Scott.
We're both Michael Scott.
You're Michael Scott. I'm Dwight. I'm the guy at the Las Vegas paper campus. Paper of the Lord.
So what are we doing now with all four of us? What?
So, what should we say?
We are
So we're all in this together.
all in this
Together, yeah. So we're just going to be on. Listen, the Wexlers are just going to be thousands of miles away. No big deal.
No big deal. Yeah.
Just a 4-hour plane ride. They're still part of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is going to be great.
Come on.
Yeah.
And we're excited to take the campus.
Come
We're
on.
so
Run with
excited.
it. And excited for you guys. So
Yeah.
Amen.
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 Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody.
that was good.